Hello, I'm Peter C. Hayward doing a Solforge video, and I have a special guest star. You want to say hello?
Kit? Hi, I'm Kit. Nice to meet you guys. You might know me from doing now, I think, 70 hours worth of streaming. I also do a podcast called Player Level 4. One of the, maybe not best, but one of the most known drafters in the Solforge community.
You do a lot of drafting, and that is why you're here, to teach me, because I occasionally know what I'm doing. Now, before I start, I just wanted to talk about drafting theory, because I have drafted the heck out of the last basically 48 hours. I haven't made any videos, I've just been drafting and drafting, and I think I understand it. So, first of all, it's totally different to regular constructed play, isn't it?
Absolutely. Completely different. Vanillas are strong, cards with text are generally weaker.
Secondly, so there's basically the three things that you want to go for are creatures that trade. So that's your 4/6s. If they have a bonus ability, good for them. Creatures that help you catch up. That's your kind of your what are they called? Stormcallers and your Marrow Fiends.
Yes.
And then you want your win condition.
Absolutely. Your bombs.
So you want to basically trade until you can get your win condition out. So win condition stuff like a Spring Dryad that's growing out of control, Dark Heart Wanderer with the Rise of the Grimgaunt. Anything that grows is good. What are some other kind of win conditions? Ionic War Charges, because they can just dodge around and do that last damage.
Forge Guardian Betas, Necroslimes.
Yeah, so anything that is either big or can grow, or can regenerate. So Unrelenting Dead, things like that. So I didn't understand that at first. So I was just playing normal Solforge in draft mode and doing really badly. And then I watched your stream, and the big thing I took away from that is that you want 6 creatures that have attack of 6, 10, 15.
That is correct. You want at least 6 because it's not perfect math, but you get 6 different packs. That gives you a chance to focus on picking one out of every pack. That way you can dedicate the rest of your stuff to whatever. But the reason is the math behind it is you have 6 sections of 5 in your deck. You're going to draw 4 sections of 5 and leave 2 sections of 5 in there. So there's 6 sections of 5. If there's an even distribution, there's not. But statistically, if there's an even distribution, you should get one about every hand.
Yeah.
The reason this is so important is because when you go up a level, these 6 power level 1s allow any of your other level 1s to trade with any level 2 creature. You look at the most powerful one, Scorchmane Dragon, probably the most powerful level 2 you can get. After that, you have Shredplate Mutant, which people probably wouldn't pick, or Sparkblade Assassin. But even with either of those, if you put a 6 power dude in front of it, then you only need another 6 power dude in front of it to kill it. You don't need to waste a level 2 on their level 2. And it just lets you trade up with your creatures. And really important, when you just draw those full level 1 hands, you have an out.
Yeah, so you've always got some way of keeping up.
Exactly. Sorry.
And then the other thing that I've heard, this wasn't from you, this is just from me reading, is that you should always play your level 2s during player level 2, so you'll have them at level 3. Like, never play if you've got level 2s in your hand, always play them over a strong level 1.
I would say in 90% of situations, that's true.
Yeah.
There are times where it's not the case, but yes.
Yeah. So, I've got Kit on to help me with the draft, because I've gotten to the point where I can fairly reliably 2-1. And that's nice. That's way better than I was doing when I was 0-3ing about 70% of the time, which is pretty bad. I'm one of the people who are basically keeping Solforge alive at the moment. But I would like to get to a stage where I can go infinite. That would be lovely. So, you can see the screen, Kit? I'm going to move my head out of the way.
Sure. Yeah, that's the, I can only not see that magical fourth. There we go. So, do you want me to go over my picks first and then you?
What I was going to say is, the way I'd like to do this, we haven't actually discussed this, should have, is that I would say what I would do, and then you can either chime in with an agreement or a disagreement, then we can debate. So here, look, honestly, I learned how to draft from your video where you picked an Unrelenting Dead, so that would be my reasoning for going for the Unrelenting Dead here.
So for me, I think Unrelenting Dead's a second pick in the pack. Yep. It's definitely a really powerful card if you can force Utero with it. I would never take it with any other faction.
Yep, because of the growth?
Yes, absolutely. You need to be able to grow very specifically the health part of it, yep. Which makes Necreum really hard to pair with it. Which makes Tempest and Aloyan really hard to pair with it.
Yeah. So what would be your first pick here? Orion?
Orion Justicar, yeah.
Is that to counter Tarsus decks and the like?
Well, it counters 8 to 9 different commons and a whole bunch of other cards, in addition to just being a very sizable body. It gives you outs to several legendaries, several heroics, and a huge amount of commons. So I take it just because, incidentally, just by having that card in your deck, you can actually just win games that you had no business winning.
Now, the avatars, I'm assuming you wouldn't pick just based on the fact that they really work best in pure decks, which you can't guarantee in draft?
Absolutely. If I were to ever pick one, it would be Steelforge Avatar, just because it's so strong, but I still don't think it's a pick.
And Alolan Highlander is not good in a format which relies on keeping cards out, am I right?
Correct.
Now, I Skyped you a while back and said, I basically gave you 6 options, and I said, which of these would you pick? And you said Flesh Fiend, because it is the second best heroic in the whole game. What is the best heroic in the whole game? For draft?
I actually think Flesh Fiend is the best heroic, but it's in the worst faction. I think Battle Tactician is the second best, but it's in the best faction, which makes it my top pick. Battle Tactician is easily, if you see it and there's no legendary in the pack, you take it under every circumstance. You can never not make an argument unless you've drafted like 8 Nexus pilots.
Because, yeah, my guess was Ferocious Roar.
Ferocious Roar is like 8 or 9 on my list.
Really?
Because
is this list up anywhere? Because I could link to it.
it is coming up next week is when my article goes up.
On Forge Post?
On Forge Watch and the forums.
Forge Watch, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to grab an Arena Justicar, which puts us in a Loyan, which is very strong in draft. And we've got... So, my instant pick here would be a Graveborn, because I think it's an amazing card. Possibly my favourite common in all of draft. What would you go here? Can you see those?
I can. Again, I try and shy away from Necreum, but I don't want to take any of these other cards. In an aggressive deck, I would take Mystic, but our first pick wasn't aggressive, it was defensive. So I take Glutton, which is just a grindy card that works well with Aloyan's nature. It's a rule of 6 card, and the more you have of them, the better they are.
Just to quickly look at the others, Feral Instinct would sort of be a last pick, or if you really needed buff cards. Electronet? What's your thoughts?
It's a non-pick. Anytime my opponent plays Electronet, unless they're running Gloom Reaper Witch in their deck, and even then I still think it's bad, but unless they're running that card, I consider it them just discarding a card.
Yeah.
They actually didn't play a spell. I want them leveling their Electronets. It feels so good.
How's Waterwalker?
Waterwalker is the worst card imaginable. I would pick Natural Select. No, I'm kidding. I really don't want the card unless like the choice is between it or Force Field. It has a horrible level 1, a near garbage level 3 for being slightly superior to Stormcaller at level 2. Yeah. I really want to avoid that card. So, Mystic is strong.
Mystic is nice. Yeah, I've been beaten by Mystic a few times. Never actually used it to my advantage, but I've been beaten by it a few times. Okay, of these, my immediate pick is a Nexus Pilot, because they are amazing in draft from what I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, I don't mind any of these cards except for the Necrovive.
So Necrovive is, like, if you have a Predator, or if, like, say, if you first picked Grimgaunt Devour, I would slam every Necrovive I saw. Yeah. But, you know, that's like a 1 in 1,000 chance.
Necro goes well with Necro Slime as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flesh Fiend is a really good rule of 6 card. We already have a rule of 6 card for this pack, so we don't have to pick it. Nexus Pilot can also... Yes, Marrow Fiend.
Yeah.
Nexus Pilot can also be a rule of 6 card that's just strong in its own right as an under-level or on-level card.
Yeah.
The only card I'm not interested in is Alpha.
Right, because we're... What? Why not? Because the competition's good?
Because yes, the competition is really good. Alpha's fine, but I generally want the jetpack that I pick pretty highly before I take an Alpha.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Necrotic Worm seems to be a no-brainer here.
I agree.
Cool. I don't think the other two are really worth discussing. And I don't like either of these, but I'm thinking Darkheart Wanderer.
Yep, if we with us taking Darkheart Wanderer, I really want to see if we can pick up a Scipion augmentation at some point. But I mean, we're never taking Nexus Core, so.
Yeah. It's amazing that card is still in the game. Okay. Now this is where I struggle. I look at this, and honestly, there is just nothing that jumps out at me. And I don't know if that's because there's nothing that jumps out, or if that's because I'm not recognizing the cards here. So, do you want to talk me through your thought process?
Okay, so with Necrium, you have to realize that every Necrium card, with the exception of Graveborn, Glutton, Zombie Infantry, and Marafiend, all the other cards in Necrium are synergy cards. So when you get them, you want to find what either is a good synergy with your faction, or good synergy with cards you already have, or cards that are likely to be the least bad. If we had, Dr. Frankenbaum, this pick would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
If we had Battle Tactician, this pick would be a lot easier. If we had Palladium Pulse Mage, this pick would be a lot easier. Since we're in Aloyan, we have access to Aloyan General at a fairly regular basis, and Palladium Pulse Mage, which means the only two cards in this pack I'm willing to look at are Cull the Weak and Fellwalker, because they both benefit from one of those two cards. Now, with Palladium Pulse Mage being common, you're more likely to get the use out of Cull the Weak than you are Fellwalker, but Fellwalker's a double blocker, so I think it really comes down to what you want. I think I would take Cull the Weak here.
Wow, okay, so that's a whole bunch of thought process that I would never have gotten to. So Cull the Weak obviously takes away small attack creatures, Palladium Pulse Mage reduces the attack.
Yes.
And that's the logic there, but okay, so from what you said there, I'd go Fellwalker because creatures are generally better than removal. Is that a fair thing to say, or is it really?
It's true when that creature isn't a 3/3.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really that trade-off. It's what you have for preference. I mean, you have 5 creatures already, so you don't need to. I like to end my drafts with at most 6 spells, so picking up a 1-a-pack is acceptable.
Right.
But it's really whichever. I mean, neither one. They're about the same value.
Cool. Look, because I am interested in learning, I'm gonna take a Cull the Weak,
Sure.
just to see how that goes. Because I normally wouldn't, so that's kind of an interesting experience for me. Of these, I'm thinking I like Forge Plate most of all because I don't really have a win condition yet, and Forge Plate's a nice bomb.
I definitely agree. I definitely wouldn't look at any of the cards on the right side of the pack.
Yeah.
All the ones on the left side interest me. You can pick up Sparkblade Assassins fairly late. You can also probably pick up another Nexus Pilot later on if you want it, whereas you are probably not going to see many Forge Plate Sentries.
Right.
So I take that simply because of how common Pilot is going to be.
So a big thing about drafting is knowing what is kind of popular in the meta at the moment.
Yes, the more you draft, the more you see, and the better you get at finding those solutions.
So I got 4 spells here. I don't really like any of them. I like Contagion Surge for the free, and Hungering Strike for the double trade that's going to happen with it.
Absolutely, those are the two that I'm looking at as well. I pick up a Contagion Surge every time I go Necrium, one of. Hungering Strike is a better spell than Contagion Surge, but just being able to take out an Orient Battle Droid for free is amazing. And the fact that you have access to Runescarred Zombie and you already have a Darkheart Wanderer in your deck, just that value of that free spell just keeps going and going. And Hungering Strike doesn't have any direct synergy with anything except Cull the Weak so far, but Contagion Surge has that same synergy. So I would slightly favor Contagion Surge here.
I grabbed a Contagion Surge. When I started drafting, I sort of built my whole deck around the Heroic, and then if I didn't draw the Heroic, I was screwed. So it's interesting to see the synergy you have to do with all the cards that you have.
Good.
I'm just looking at these. Look, Touch of Blight, I don't think I would... I would never get, but I'm willing to be corrected on that. Light Shield, I like if you can buff it, and as you said, we are in Aloyan, which has some buff cards, so I'd lean towards a Light Shield here.
I actually lean towards Vengeful Spirit. Removal is bad. Creatures are always something you want. How about a creature that gives you removal after it jump blocks something?
Yeah.
It deals with Aloyan armor extremely well. Counters the buffs of Grimgaunt Predators. Not only do you deal 7 damage to it, but suddenly that +6/+6 it was getting, it doesn't get. It's really good at dealing with bombs and legendaries that you normally don't have the ability to beat. And Light Shield Patrol, again, something we can easily snag up later after we pick up a Matrix Warden that works with it, after we pick up a battle, something that works with it.
So Vengeful Spirit, would you count that as one of your 6, 10, 15s?
I would count it as half a 6-10-15.
Yeah.
It fits the same role without applying pressure. It doesn't apply pressure, but it fits the chump oriented of it.
And Touch of Blight you'd never really grab?
Ever.
Yep. Sparkblade Assassin seems to be a no-brainer here.
Absolutely, sir.
I played a deck. I managed to draw as my first pick a Keeper of the Damned. And so to try to synergize with that, I was picking up everything that had Enter abilities, and I ended up getting 4 Gloom Reaper Witches. I did very badly. Gloom Reaper Witch is not a good card.
Not in draft, which tends to go to like player level 4 through 6.
And also has lots of high attack creatures.
Yes.
Now,
If they play a Prowler, you're set.
What's that?
If they play a Prowler, you're set.
Yeah.
But
so, of these, Zombie Infantry hits my... Zombie and Sparkbot hit my 6, 10, 15. Grimgaunt Spectre there's a lot of love for at the moment, because he does have that 11 mobility at level 2. But I like Alone General and Necro Slime, and based on what I've got, I'd probably go Necro Slime.
Alright, so for me, those are definitely the 2 that I highlight as well. You don't have to grab the 6 power dude in your first pack. You can get in any of them. Necro Slime is your first true win condition that you have,
Yep.
so I would definitely make that the pick. Other than that, I mean, if Necro Slime wasn't here, I would take the General just because of how well it can sequence with other commons.
Yeah, and had I picked up that light... Had I been forced to pick up the Light Shield earlier, I'd probably grab the General.
Yes.
Cool. Necro Slime. What's your thoughts on Grimgaunt Spectre, actually, while we're in the pack?
If you have a Technosmith, I love it. If you don't have a Technosmith, I don't. I also don't think I would pick it up if I had a Metasite either, because losing board presence is really bad, and at least Technosmith is a chump blocker. I mean, rather than playing Metasite, you could just play the Spectre and do the same level of chumping.
Yeah. So I like Necrovive a lot here, because I do have that Necro Slime.
I certainly don't see you picking up a good chunk of these other cards either, so...
Yeah. Grave Pact isn't really appealing. Nexus Core is pretty tempting, though. I like my Nexus Core a lot. Of these, Sparkblade leaps out as the only... Oh, actually, I quite like Necrotic Worm as a bomb, but it's such crappy level 2.
I would, again, hinging on getting a Technosmith, I would pick up the Necrotic Worm, but since we don't have one yet, I won't risk taking it.
Yeah.
I would much rather have the really, really strong level 2. If we had a Technosmith, it'd be different, yeah.
Graveghast here, I think.
Yes, sir.
As there's not really much competition.
Works really well with your Necro Slime as well.
Yeah, he does too. And Grimgaunt Spectre.
Yeah, take the body.
Nether Embrace is pretty bad.
Not entirely unplayable, but yes, really bad. I would take it over a slew of other cards.
So I like Dreadbolt a lot in draft, but I'm willing to be corrected here. Not corrected, argued with. I'm willing to be argued with.
So Dreadbolt is one of the 3 pieces of removal that I actually take fairly often in draft. 4
Epidemic.
pieces actually.
Epidemic, Dreadbolt. What else?
Botanimate.
Oh, right, yep.
And Ghastly Touch.
Oh, right, you like Ghastly Touch?
I do. It's one of the few ones that actually can provide some level of relevance. That said, I don't think that any of the other cards are nearly as exciting as taking the Dreadbolt.
Yeah.
So
if the Dreadbolt wasn't in here, I'd probably look at the cards that I've got and think the Hellforged Avatar isn't a bad pick.
I don't know. I would be more tempted to take the Corpse Crawler or the Runescarred Zombie than the Avatar.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to grab the Dreadbolt. Why no Avatar love?
I just never ever take an Avatar. It's a rule of thumb. I mean, it's just they have too much potential to be dead draws, and they're not good late.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't want to be playing an 11/11 in player level 3.
Yeah. I like Necrovive again, and that's mostly because there's nothing else that appeals to me here.
Yeah, but a second Necroslime isn't going to do that hot for you either.
Sorry?
Or, I'm sorry, a second Necrovive is not going to do that for you. Do we have any other creatures that would that we have for bombs yet? I guess the Forge Plate Sentries.
Forge Plate Sentry.
I could see taking it.
Also, I've got the Dark Heart in there, so it is a spell, but I've only got 4 spells so far. I'd probably grab it, but not grab any more.
Sure.
Necrovive. Palladium Pulse Mage you were sort of singing the praises of earlier, but that was that contextual? Oh yeah, I've got the cull, so Palladium Pulse Mage
It was
works with that.
contextual, yeah. I personally, here, considering we have the Dark Heart Wanderer and the Necro Slime, I take the tech upgrade.
Yeah.
But I also very much like Palladium Pulse Mage in this faction combination. So I will leave that up to you. I think that they're both fairly close, with a slight preference towards tech upgrade.
Yeah, I'm going to go tech upgrade because Palladium's only this turn, and that has screwed me over in previous games. See, Steel Shape is a bit crap for me at the moment because I've got so few Aloyans. Scavenger Scorpion's nice if you can get it out early, but it doesn't level very well. Again, this is one of those packs where I don't know. So this is why this is actually really useful for me, because I look at this pack and I'm just clueless. It's almost like flipping a coin for me, whereas I feel like there's obvious choices that I'm just not seeing.
So I agree with not taking the Savant. I would take the Scavenger Scorpion in a heartbeat if I were picking up Frankenbombs or Gluttons, because that would make me want to pick up Frankenbombs. But I think here you just take the card that's going to level well if you have to play it, which is Alpha. I mean, at level 2, Alpha's already better than Scavenger Scorpion.
Yeah. And it means if I see a jetpack, I grab it.
Yeah. You should grab a jetpack anyways if you see it.
Yeah. Second Guardian Alpha.
Yes.
Oh, second Necro Slime would be very nice for this deck.
I agree. I don't see anything else in this pack I want. I do like Blightwalker, but I feel like we already have the Dreadbolt, so we don't need that kind of effect.
Yeah.
And Metamind Adapt, again, I would want if we had Technosmith, but we don't.
Would you Technosmith through the first level of Metamind?
No, I use it to draw the card that I want to Technosmith.
Right. Now, I haven't actually been counting my big attack guys. I've got one Graveborn. Is that it? No, that can't be it.
I think that's it.
So I really want to play catch up on that, don't I?
We haven't seen any is the problem.
Yeah. So Sparkbot here just to make up the numbers.
Sure, it levels really poorly. I hate that card, but yeah, I think that just taking the strongest body is probably the best.
Although Metamind has the same stats at every level and an ability, just without the health.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a Metamind.
Sure.
But I don't like either of any of those cards.
Charnel Titan.
Charnel?
Yeah.
I've heard you recommending him, and I've taken him, and he's never done it for me. I've never managed to get him working.
So he is a anti-archetype card. He is really strong against Utera and Necrium. Average against Aloyan and horrible against Tempest. If you see Tempest, you just write him off as a dead card that you'll never play.
Right.
If you see Utera Necrium, which is a very that's a favorite of people's. If you even see one of those factions, he's a good card to level.
Okay, cool.
And he's so aggressive. He punishes people really hard.
My move here would have been the Nexus Pilot. Is there a reason you'd go Charnel over Nexus?
Yes, because you can play him in any lane.
Yeah.
And he really punishes people for playing Technosmith.
Yeah. Marrow Fiend here to hit those big numbers.
Yes. You don't want either of the other ones anyways.
Yeah. And even though I don't want them, I'm going to grab a Necrotic Worm. Oh wait, no,
yep.
I thought that was it, but no, I've got another pack left. So of these, I like Vault Tactician because he hits those numbers and he levels really nicely. Because I've got both the Necro Slimes in there, I'm so tempted by the Necrovive, but I said I wouldn't take any more, so I'm leaning towards Vault Tactician here.
I think for me it's the only pick. I already don't want two Necrovives in my deck, but
yeah.
You know, we have the choice earlier. Definitely the Technician.
Cool. Ionic Warcharger is one of those, if you see it, grab it cards?
Absolutely. But our power level's so low.
Our big guys?
Yeah, we have two, and this is the last pack.
So you lean towards the zombie infantry?
I think it's hard. I think that we might be run over by our opponents out leveling us. But I think we just play a proactive game plan and try and just stay ahead of them, and we take the War Charger.
War Charger?
It's just a better card, yeah.
So that's a 60-40 to you there.
It's a hard choice, and I'm going with the better card. That's really what it is. It's not a percentage. I think the pick is actually infantry. I'd rather have the better card. Ew. All right. What do you think?
So, because we're so low in those bombs, I think Forge Guardian kind of helps you keep up in those situations.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We don't want another Wanderer. We don't need another Graveghast, and Avatars is likely to help us not.
Yeah. See, Bone Scythe... Okay, Bone Scythe's interesting, because I've seen Bone Scythe used effectively, and I've seen it be a total dead draw. What are your thoughts on the Bone Scythe Reaver?
So normally I don't generally like it because it's a half to level card. If I were to take it, I'd really want the Technosmith to go with it. I know I say that a lot, but it's true.
Is Technosmith a must-grab card for you?
Technosmith I value extremely highly.
Yeah.
My playstyle is different than some other people's. But I mean, in any game that you end up grinding out, in any game that you go to player level 6, it's just going to sit there and keep doing work. Well, your opponent's playing their level 3s, you're playing your level 3s and leveling your level 2 to make sure that you draw another level 3 next time.
Yeah.
So I'll take the Bone Scythe only because we already have 2 Sparkblade Assassins.
Yeah.
Though the pick is
pretty bad.
Close.
And last pack. Oh man, options. I would take the Contagion Surge based on them both being pretty bad.
Yep.
Cool. So
should we do a Technosmith?
I'm going to play my first round now.
Sure.
So we're pretty low in the blockers here, which means aggressively level. No. So what's your recommended strategy when you're low in your 6, 10, 15s?
To play the most proactive game plan possible. It's really important for you, when you don't have your 6, 10, 15s, it becomes really important to make sure that you're not trading down with your level 2s in almost any circumstance.
Yeah.
Because you really need to make sure that they have to spend their level 2s on them.
Yeah.
I also would lead off with the most aggressive card you could, which is Nexus Pilot.
Yeah. Cool. Is that always, or is that in response to not having many aggressive cards?
It's in response to not being able to handle a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Make them have to handle yours.
Thank you very much for coming on, by the way. This has been really interesting and educational. Oh, look at this. We're counted. Oh, that's not a good thing. So he's playing, obviously, the same factions.
With him playing Necreum, I definitely like playing the Justicar.
Yep. Instead of Rotor trade off with the Nexus?
No, you might as well do that with your Sentry.
Yeah.
Your Justicar is going to live longer than your Sentry is. Yay!
I'm going to just pop my head back in. Hello! Okie dokie. So... that's a... So he actually does not trade there.
He does if you Contagion Surge it, and it's a level to Contagion Surge.
Yep, and then Ionic War Charger in front of the Conscript.
Yes.
Cool.
Level all your good cards.
I put myself at like probably a 8.5 out of 10 as a player and a 4 out of 10 as a draft. No, 6 out of 10 as a drafter. I'm better than that.
I would be probably an 8 as a player, and I would say 9 3/4 as a drafter.
Yeah. So that's annoying but not undefeatable. My move here would be Graveborn in front of this Titan and Forge Guardian in front of the tower, I think. Although I don't know if those jetpacks, so the Forge Guardians aren't really much of a priority.
I think you put Vengeful Spirit in an empty lane and put Glutton in front of the Vanguard.
Oh, right.
With him playing Titan and all this armor stuff, Vengeful Spirit's value goes way up for you.
Yeah. Interesting. I've never had someone in my ear while I'm playing a game, so I'm a little bit nervous. So I like Arian Justicar in the corner and Graveborn, but obviously responding to what he does.
Yes.
Graveborn in front of the Scrapforge, even?
I still think you ignore the Scrapforge Titan. You can play a level 1 in front of it next turn.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Just play your level off to the sides.
Yeah. Oh, so both of them?
Yep.
Really?
They have to trade with you. They have to play their level 2s in front of your cards. And with your Orient Justice card, they're still going to have to play another card in front of it.
Ah, yeah, they are too. Dreadbolt, not much. Oh, do I want to level that? Because there is a Titan in the deck.
I think it's definitely a consideration. That Contagion Surge will definitely do some work as well.
Yeah. So he's ignoring me, ignoring him. Okay.
So Dreadbolt plus Contagion Surge. Dreadbolt first and then Contagion Surge kills the Vanguard. Or, no, do it on the General. Dreadbolt it and then Contagion Surge it.
And that way it doesn't boost the other guys. And then Ionic War Charger in front of the Vanguard.
Correct.
I hate ignoring all this damage. I know it's only ones, but it just it gets to me.
Well, I mean, look at this. You have 2 level 2s on board he has to deal with.
Yeah.
And you're at the same life total, essentially.
Yep. So Forge Plate... Ooh. That's okay, that's okay. I like Forge Plate in front of the Titan and... Oh, what have I got? Yeah, Vengeful Spirit in front of the Dark Shaper. Because even if he shapes it, it still dies.
Do it after combat, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let the arena take some more damage first.
Yeah. I think you move the War Charger to... I guess you're going to play differently, but I think you move the War Charger to 3.
Because I can deal with the Tower Vanguard with a 1?
Correct.
Cool. I'm going to ask you your reasoning on things just because it's interesting. Forge Plate in front of the Vanguard then, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, and my Arian Justicar made his Spirit Warrior useless. Huzzah.
Such play, so win. Wow.
I've had a game last night. It drove me mad. It was a really nice deck. I should have won, but I didn't draw a single level 2 until 3.2 or 3.3. It was insane. I just kept on drawing 1s and 1s and 1s. I just couldn't win it back. Nexus in the middle row, and then... See, Bone Scythe's a must level. Vault Tactician would be nice to level. Tech Upgrade's nice. I think Tech Upgrade on the Forge Plate.
I think that gives you your best chances. It was either that or the Vault Technician's too late to play the Reaver.
Yeah. And I don't mind losing my Graveborn. And that Scrapforge is still alive. Still.
It's okay. You're 19 life ahead. You're 19 life ahead.
Yeah.
That Dreadbolt is a absolute must level, yeah. And
even if it levels on the Scrapforge.
I think you'll find something.
No, look at that. Only creature left is the Scrapforge. Do I discard it or do I level it on that?
I think you discard it so he can't see it and kill it with Contagion Surge.
Yeah, too late for my
that way he doesn't know you have the... Yeah.
And I got enough board advantage to do that. Oh, that's
See, it was only a matter of time.
That is a nice draw.
Yes, sir.
So I basically ignore what he does and play them.
Yes.
Ah! Do I ignore him?
You can ignore him for... Oh, wow. Yeah. Just play your 3s in front of him.
Both of them?
You're stalling.
So
Yeah,
Nexus
you
Pilot in
either...
center. And,
Yes.
Nexus Pilot in 3, Forge Plate in 4.
Yes.
Shit. So now I just need to draw my frickin' Dreadbolt.
You've got 3 turns that you have to hold off before you draw that. Vengeful Spirit will be really nice if you can draw it.
Yep.
Ooh, just with Tech Upgrade, will chump it for 2 turns and actually deal some damage to it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We'll be down to, what, 4 by then?
Yep.
Not anymore.
That's okay, though.
Yeah.
It's still just a car and Tech Upgrade, which works out for you unless he Epidemics.
Yeah. Graveborn finishes him off, I think? No. Yes, Graveborn finishes him off.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
Ionic War
all
Charger.
he's hoping for is no Ghastly Touch, none of that bad removal. Just don't draw it.
It's okay. It's okay. And then Ionic in front of the Matrix Warden, or just off to the side?
Nope.
No, off to the
Ionic
side.
in 2.
Ionic in 2, cool.
And Glutton in front of the Titan.
Yes. I did work that one
Push
out.
that work position. He needs to react to you.
Yeah. Draft is
When you
such a
draw
different
the
game.
Forge Plate, yeah, when you draw the Forge Plate 3, you can stick that in front of the Warden.
Yeah. There's my Dreadbolt.
See, now you can level that Bone Scythe Reaver by putting it in front of the Warden.
Yeah, with the Contagion.
Mm-hmm.
So I've drawn my Dreadbolt first of level 4, which means if he does get a Titan immediately... I can just ignore it. I'll be able to take him out before he does anything with it.
Yep. He's at 38 life.
Yeah.
So I think you kill the Dark Shaper now. I think you Contagion Surge it and move your Ionic War Charger over.
Yeah.
So you probably Dreadbolt the Matrix Warden and play the Bone Scythe in front of... Yep.
So this could go either way at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I haven't even killed the Dark Shaper. Oh no, he'd have to use both his... Yeah.
I think I might have done math wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I could have... Ah, crap. Means that his Dark Shaper still dies unless he draws an Epidemic. What? Oh, it's -5. Crap.
Yes. So I think you still kill the Savant and put the Nexus Pilot in the middle. You can afford to take 1 hit from that Titan.
Yeah. Just try to plow through that last...
On the board for you. Yep. Would be really nice if you drew a Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah. Arian with a Tech and a Contagion Surge...
Seems good.
It means I'm entirely reacting, but I don't think I can afford to do much else at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, crap. Aegis Conscript. Giving him 14 armor. Okay. I think I've lost this one, but...
I don't think so yet.
Yeah?
Yep.
You are very optimistic. I'm doing
You
6...
only lose if he Epidemics you.
What's that?
You only lose if he Epidemics you.
Ah, yeah, that's true. Ah, Ionic doesn't take him out because of... yeah. I forgot about the usefulness of Fellwalker in situations like this. Nah, that's game.
Alright, so put your Adept in front of the Graveghast. Oh, that won't... Never mind. Put your Adept in front of the Titan. 9, 10, 14, 18, 19. Yep, that's not a game yet. Adept in front of it, what'd you draw?
Necrotic Worm.
Alright, hit battle.
And then that's 11.
You're still not dead yet.
I'm still not dead yet. He's on 5 health, is Scrapforge. No, there's literally no draw that wins it for me here.
It's not a matter of winning. I mean, drawing. You didn't get the cards to do it, but I mean, drawing Graveborn Glutton and something could keep you in the game, but it's too late.
No, even that, because I'd have to stop. Yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the video here on a loss, just to end on a really high note. Thank you so much for your tips. That loss was in no way due to your tips. That was partially due to math, and mostly due to him having really good draws.
Sorry about that. I hope the next one is a win for you, sir.
I'll let you know how I go. I'm Peter Hayward. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on, Kit. Where can people check out your stuff, Kit?
Twitch.tv/the one and only Kit.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll put a link down below. He also hangs out on the forums and on Reddit and in life. He hangs out in life. Thanks so much for coming on, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Peter C. Hayward. I need to work a sign out. Come up with a sign out for me, Kit. Do it.
Peter out.
Peter out.